easiest person to deceive is one's own self.
You've seen it 1,000 times. The flashy Instagram post with a luxury car, the successful guru flaunting stacks of cash, the viral tweet claiming, "This one trick changed my life," and like a moth to a flame, you're drawn in. Why? Because your brain is hardwired to follow the herd, to trust the crowd, to believe that if everyone else is doing it, it must be legitimate. This is social proof, one of the most potent psychological weapons in a scammer's arsenal. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Social proof isn't just a marketing tactic. It's a manipulation tool designed to exploit your deepest insecurities and blind spots. Think about it. When was the last time you questioned the validity of a trending product or a too-good-to-be-true opportunity simply because thousands of others were endorsing it? Scammers know you don't. They prey on your fear of missing out, your desire for validation, your subconscious belief that popularity equals credibility. And the worst part? You don't even realize you're being played. So let me ask you this. If everyone jumped off a cliff, would you follow? Or are you finally ready to wake up and see the strings being pulled behind the curtain? The illusion of consensus is a scammer's greatest trick. They don't need to convince you directly, they just need to make you believe that everyone else is convinced. Fake reviews, bot-generated likes, staged testimonials, these are all carefully crafted illusions designed to hijack your critical thinking. Consider this. A study found that nearly 60% of online reviews are fabricated, yet we still treat them as gospel. Why? Because your brain is lazy. It would rather take a mental shortcut. If so many people say it's good, it must be. Then do the hard work of independent verification. Scammers exploit this cognitive laziness with surgical precision. They create fake crowds, artificial demand, and manufactured hype to trigger your innate fear of being left behind. And it works. Every single time. You've fallen for it, I've fallen for it, we all have. But here's the real question. When did we stop trusting our own judgment and start outsourcing our decisions to faceless strangers on the internet? When did we become so desperate for external validation that we'd rather follow a lie than stand alone in the truth? The answer is uncomfortable but necessary. We've been conditioned to doubt ourselves. And until we break that conditioning, we'll remain easy prey. Let's talk about authority, the ultimate social proof. A man in a suit, a verified badge, a celebrity endorsement. These symbols trigger an almost religious deference in our minds. We assume that if someone appears authoritative, they must be trustworthy. But what if I told you that scammers deliberately mimic these symbols to disarm your skepticism? They wear the costume of credibility, and like obedient sheep, we bow to the illusion. Think about the countless Ponzi schemes that collapse despite being endorsed by experts. Remember the fraudulent startups that raised millions because a famous investor lent their name? These weren't failures of intelligence, they were failures of discernment. We confuse perceived authority with actual competence, and scammers feast on that confusion. So ask yourself, how many times have you let a title, a badge, or a famous face override your gut instinct? How many times have you ignored red flags because someone important said it was safe? This isn't just about avoiding scams, it's about reclaiming your sovereignty. Because the moment you start questioning the symbols of authority is the moment you become untouchable. The fear of isolation is the silent engine driving social proof. Humans are tribal creatures. We'd rather be wrong with the crowd than right alone. Scammers know this. They create artificial tribes, exclusive groups, VIP memberships, limited-time communities to make you feel like an outsider unless you comply. And it works because the pain of exclusion is neurologically indistinguishable from physical pain. You're not just buying a product, you're buying belonging. But here's the brutal truth. That tribe is a mirage. Those exclusive members? Often bots or paid actors. That urgency? A manufactured illusion to override your logic. The real question is, why are we so afraid of being the odd one out? Since when did conformity become more valuable than truth? History's greatest thinkers, innovators, and leaders were all outsiders at some point. They resisted the pull of the crowd, and that's exactly why they changed the world. So the next time you feel that pang of FOMO, ask yourself, am I joining because it's right, or because I'm afraid to stand apart? Scammers don't just use social proof, they weaponize your memory. Ever noticed how quickly a viral trend disappears? How the must-have product of last year is now a joke? That's by design. Scammers rely on recency bias, your brain's tendency to overvalue the latest information. They flood your timeline with proof of their legitimacy, knowing you'll forget the contradictions within weeks. Meanwhile, the few who speak up are drowned out by the noise. This is how scams persist. Not because they're flawless, but because criticism fades faster than hype. So ask yourself, how many past scams have you already forgotten? How many current ones are hiding in plain sight, shielded by the short attention span of the crowd? If you want to break the cycle, you must train yourself to remember, to hold contradictions in your mind long enough to see the truth. Because amnesia is the scammer's best friend, and your greatest enemy. The most insidious form of social proof, the normalization of deceit. When scams become common enough, they stop feeling like scams. They just feel like how the game is played. Crypto pump and dumps, fake gurus, phishing emails, we've grown numb to them. And that's exactly what scammers want. When corruption becomes routine, outrage dies. People shrug and say, that's just the way it is. But since when did frequency equal acceptability? Since when did everyone does it become a valid excuse? This is how societies decay, not with a bang, but with a slow, collective shrug. The moment you stop being angry about deception is the moment you become complicit in it. So I'll ask you plainly, are you still capable of indignation? Or have you been gaslit into silence by the sheer commonness of the con? Let's cut through the noise. You are the weakest link. Not because you're stupid, but because you're human. Scammers don't target your intelligence, they target your psychology. Your need for belonging, your trust in authority, your fear of missing out. These are the levers they pull. And the only way to fight back is to know yourself better than they know you. That means auditing your impulses, questioning your triggers, and embracing the discomfort of dissent. It means being willing to say, I don't care if everyone else is doing it. I won't. That's the price of freedom. Eternal vigilance against your own mind. So tell me, are you willing to pay it? The antidote to social proof isn't cynicism. It's discernment. You don't have to reject everything popular, but you must interrogate it. Who benefits from this trend? What's the incentive behind this endorsement? Is this consensus organic or manufactured? These questions are your armor, because the truth is, not all social proof is malicious, but all of it should be verified. The world is full of wolves in sheep's clothing, but it's also full of legitimate shepherds. Your job isn't to distrust everyone, it's to distinguish. So I'll leave you with this. Will you keep following shadows, or will you finally turn on the light? Here's the ultimate irony. The more you resist the pull of social proof, the more power you gain. Scammers can't manipulate what they can't predict. When you think for yourself, you become an outlier, a variable they can't control. That's why the rarest commodity in the modern world isn't wealth or fame. It's independent thought. The people who change the game aren't the ones chasing trends. They're the ones setting them. So ask yourself, do you want to be a puppet or a player? A follower or a force? The choice isn't just about avoiding scams. It's about claiming your sovereignty in a world that profits from your conformity. The curtain has been pulled back. You now see the strings, the illusions, the psychological traps. But knowledge without action is just self-deception. So what will you do? Will you go back to sleep, lulled by the comforting lies of the crowd? Or will you step into the uncomfortable, exhilarating light of truth? The scammers are counting on the former. I'm betting on the latter. The question is, which side of that bet are you on? The clock is ticking. Choose.